This video is for business leaders who want to grow their own grit by being their own dopamine dealers. Now, grit is basically perseverance, but let's say tough perseverance with an edge, and it's more predictive of success. Wow, I gotta get those glasses straight, eh? Than IQ and perhaps EQ also, though it's ideal to actually grow all three instead of debating, is IQ better, is EQ better, is grit better? Well, it's better to try to develop all three, though this is grit week, so we're going to focus on growing grit and not the other two, which are separate subjects. So watch to the end of this video for bonus material on how to grow grit even more and a recommended video that dives deeper into some of the things you can do that are discussed in this video, but a deeper level of some of the things that are going to get discussed here about how to grow grit. This is actually something that is recently self-discovered. I've had two of these. These aren't common for me, but I'm pretty excited about it. Essentially what it is maybe a week ago, I figured out a neat little hack to get around the limitation of doing one habit while giving you the flexibility and variety of improving in more than one habit. There is in the bonus video, it goes into detail about that, but the bottom line is the more things you try to change, the more new challenging habits you try to do, the less likely you are to succeed at any of them. And I think I've kind of found sort of a mindset hack or a framing hack to get around that limitation and allow you to have more variety. So you're not getting bored while you're trying to get to, or frustrated while you're trying to get to achieving success in one specific challenging thing. So essentially what I'm talking about today, the grow your own grit formula, whatever you want to call it, has multiple essential ingredients. Now, the first one is challenge time, which is what I've been referring to. That is a habit around a challenge time into which you can plug any challenge for you. So for example, instead of saying, well, I need to exercise regularly, but I'm not, and then you're always exercising, focusing on developing that habit, and therefore not being able to work on other habits, which would normally distract you from developing that one habit. Now, if instead you say, I am going to do one challenging thing a day, that is my habit, one challenging thing for X time, or to X meaningful accomplishment at that task. Okay, so you do that, and the way you do that is pretty simple. You just say, for example, you say, well, I'm going to exercise. I need to exercise more. I want to get in shape, so I'm going to exercise. So maybe what you do is during your challenge time, you exercise one day. Well, you shouldn't exercise every day if it's intense exercise. So you shouldn't really exercise the next day, but you could still do a different challenge time, a different challenge task during your challenge time. So really you want to form the habit of doing one daily challenging task for a set period of time or a set number of repetitions, depending what it is. So maybe the next day is like, I'll exercise on day one, but on day two, I've been wanting to write my book. It's a common one I found. I write every day, but I'm not writing a book. I want somebody to assemble it from everything I've already written. So the next day might be, okay, I'm going to exercise on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I will write for 1 hour or 1,000 words or one chapter, whatever you set, but it's during the same time. And your goal is to achieve or work on something challenging to you. And then maybe for a third time, let's say instead you only do it 2 days a week. So you're going to do Monday and Wednesday, you'll exercise. Tuesday and Thursday, you will do your writing, but you want to learn more. So on what's left? Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. So maybe Saturday and where's it? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So maybe Friday and Sunday, you've decided what you'd like to do is you'd like to do some challenging new learning. So remember, all times you want this to be something that's challenging. If it's easy, then you're not developing grit. That's an essential component, is that what you're striving to do must be challenging for you. If you are not struggling, if you are not working within that growth mindset, it will not, you can't grow grit from doing what's easy. It must be grown from doing what's hard and doing it consistently. That's the other reason for the challenge time to be the way it is. Okay, so, and for example, as I said, maybe what you're going to do is you're going to do some new and challenging learning of something that you wanted to do, maybe finish a college course or take, doesn't matter what it is. Do something that is challenging for you. So new learning twice a week, exercise twice a week, and writing for your book twice a week. But you do it at the same time. So you've now put in 6 days a week of challenge time, a singular idea, a singular activity. It isn't what you do during that time that's critical. It's that you do it, that it's challenging for a fixed period of time or a fixed number of repetitions, words, whatever it is that's relevant to the activity that's challenging for you. So I have a video about this called Daily Habit Mastery I will talk about later in this video. So essentially the critical ingredient, other than the challenge time I've already described now, is mindset, that you want to celebrate progress and small wins every single time you can think of it, every time you're mindful of it, which will be part of the habit of forming this habit as such. After finishing a challenging task, but it gets even a little deeper than that, and I'll get that into that in the bonus stuff. So essentially what you're doing is you're creating self-reinforcement, which is another behavior that is a better predictor of success, also related to grit, but not grit, but also a better predictor of success than IQ. So by self-reinforcing, that just means you reward yourself each time you've done something which you want to form a habit around. So a critical component of doing so, though, is being mindful. There's a mindfulness component. So here's the way you can do it to get sort of the most bang for your buck. Before you do the activity, this could be just before or the night before, but I would recommend just before. This is the beginning of your activity. Reflect on and anticipate how good it will feel after having accomplished this. That is, I'm going to, after recording this video, go out and do exercise, though it may be raining. So I might need to do it inside, but I'm anticipating in my mind as I do this video how great it will feel to have finished my exercising. The reason we do this is because research shows that actually animals get a bigger spike of dopamine from anticipating the taste of food than actually tasting the food itself. So you use this same system, which we also have, and you anticipate how great it will feel to have accomplished something before you begin. Then during the activity that you're doing, say it's this video, which if it was really challenging, now at day 240, it's not so challenging anymore. But writing it today and putting together this simple but different background image was challenging. It took me far longer, but I celebrated during, mentally reflecting on, hey, you know, this is taking me a long time, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm staying gritty about this. So you feel good about, I'm doing it, I'm doing it, I'm doing it while you're doing it. This doesn't take a lot of mind share. You want to focus mostly on doing the activity, but you can say, hey, I'm still doing it even though it's challenging. That is grittiness in essence. So you do that, and you could literally say something to yourself like, I'm doing it. Good boy. I'm doing it. Good girl. whichever gender you are. And after the activity is over, you can also reflect at that point saying, I did it. I'm done that activity. Good job. I oftentimes do exactly that at the end of my exercise, whether it's in public or in private. I do the V for victory. Outside in the park, the old men and old women who exercise out there every day that it's nice out probably think I'm crazy, but I just go. And then put my hands down and put away my stuff and come home. But it's not for them, it's for me. It's that acknowledgement, that celebration, that dopamine hit and being mindful. So now here's the other part, and the part that I sort of discovered. I actually did this, and I was mindfully aware of how it felt in my body to actually feel the dopamine hit that you get. I remember taking a program, somebody who is a specialist online for gamification. And at the end of finishing your accomplished goal for the day, there's like a cha-ching, like a cash register. And I actually noticed how visceral, how much I could actually feel. Oh, well, that's a good reinforcement. It works because I felt the excitement, that rush sort of in your stomach, the butterflies, right? So I found the same thing with this. This is what created this idea for me. It was like, if I am mindful after that I just finished something really worth doing, then I can feel really good about it and be mindful of that, the physiological arousal, as well as mindful of the fact that I'm doing the task, mindful that I've accomplished the task. Now, there's an experiment done a long time ago. I'm just going to call it the shaky bridge experiment. I can't remember where it was. It's just a very famous experiment in psychology where some researchers made a bridge that shook. And what they were doing is they were trying to decide whether physiological arousal, which could be fear, but it could be attraction, it could be getting ready to fight, it could be any number of things that increases your metabolism, gets you ready for fight, flight, freeze, and other things like that, whether that physiological arousal, in what situation would we assign it differently? So what I mean by this is physiological arousal plus context. That's the situation in which the physiological arousal, the excitement happens in, plus your mindset equals the meaning. So they had people walking across this bridge as, you know, usually some fake task for the experiment, and then they shook the bridge, and that scared people because they thought maybe it was an earthquake or something. They weren't expecting it. So now they have essentially fear, because bridges don't normally shake, followed by a reasonably attractive research assistant saying, if you have any questions, please contact us. So the idea was, would those who were scared on the bridge, who experienced a shaky bridge versus a non-shaky bridge, be statistically significantly more likely to phone the phone number of the attractive assistant, the attractive research assistant? And in fact, that's exactly what they found. So what they found was the arousal sat next to somebody who was attractive, was then that arousal was mistaken for interpersonal attraction rather than fear, because it was reassigned immediately after that shaky bridge thing happened. So they were scared, and then they saw someone attractive. So they put those two together in their mind as, I'm attracted to this person. Now, this has been done lots of times. That's why the classic, take your date to a horror movie. If they're scared, they have a tendency to feel attracted to you because they have the physiological arousal of fear, and you happen to be there equals potential increased attraction. So the reason this is valuable for us in this situation about growing your grit is you can essentially take the physiological arousal, the buzz from your own dopamine that you're dealing yourself in this case, and then assign exactly what you want that to mean. There is no specific inherent meaning. You get the dopamine rush, and you go, I've been a good boy. I've been a good girl. I'm doing what is making my life better. I feel great about this. This activity is rewarding for me. So you take the physiological arousal, the dopamine hit, which you've mindfully created. You've done it in a specific context that you've engineered, and you can use your mindset to create the meaning. Doing this makes my life better. I'm going to do this every day because I feel great when I do it. So you take that physiological arousal, you plug it into what you want it to mean, and therefore it becomes that's the meaning that it will take on. So essentially what you can do is you can choose and assign whatever meaning you want to any physiological arousal, generally speaking, because whether it's fear, attraction, anger, all those things that make you are all fundamentally the same, and then it is simply the context in which it happens, the mindset in which we are in, and the thoughts and awareness we have at that time, which then associate them with the closest event, whether that's attraction, anger, fear, or whatever it is. So you can choose what you want to. Essentially, reality is to quite a degree user defined. Arousal, in this case, I choose for it to mean this. Even if you're going, well, I know I'm doing this, I'm not tricking myself. Well, in fact, you can trick yourself because your body and your brain really don't care. Okay, so another way, thank you for watching this far. We're to the bonus material, and the bonus material is really from Mark Twain, and this is about eating the frogs. You take what I just talked about, this challenge time, this challenge task that you're going to do ideally every single day is the best because of habit formation. You eat the frog, you do the most difficult and challenging thing of your day first. Now, the important thing here is because it's the first, the top, and the only priority you have until it's completed, it also assures you complete that challenging thing. And there's lots of reasons that the bonus video that I will tell you about in a moment gets into, but the upshot is willpower is finite. And for the things that are challenging, by doing them first, you've used the willpower where you had to use the willpower. And as you form a habit, you will need less and less willpower, the more and more habitual that behavior becomes, even if it is just a challenge time every single day, first thing. So this is the other thing too, and that is that when you reflect on the fact that your challenging thing is now done because you did it first thing in the day, and you did the most challenging thing first, it will feel amazing. You'll feel, this is the experience that I had, and the science backs it up. You'll feel amazing and inspiring knowing that you've already accomplished the toughest thing of your day and that you've done it already. You still have the whole rest of the day to accomplish and do other things, which are all easier because you started with the hardest one. And if it's your first challenge was harder than you expected. Now, I've already referred to this. So for some reason today, I really struggled to get this video out. I do this a lot, but today it took much longer, and the picture took much longer than I expected. It's like, well, I keep going until it's done. It's my first, only, and top priority. And here it is. Then I congratulate myself mentally for going, while it's happening and after it's happened, which is right now, I can celebrate the fact that I stuck with it and stayed gritty and finished it anyway, despite the challenge, despite the fact that it was even more of a challenge than I expected. And because of this, that gives me a bonus dopamine power up or hit, going, you did it anyway. So that's it for this episode, save one or two little house cleaning items. And that is the recommended video for today is a deeper dive into the advantages of challenge time framed as one habit and into which you can plug any challenging task. So I've already talked about that a fair bit today, but it goes deeper as to why you do it the way I have recommended in that video. And yeah, it's just more detail. Important detail, but if you're a science geek, you might enjoy that. And then the next one is, I would like to challenge you to try being your own dopamine dealer, as I've described in this video. And when it works, if you do what I said in this, it will work. Share this video with others. That is, take what I say, try it out for yourself. And when it works, please share this video with others. Thanks. So this has been Crush It Club 240, Grow Your Own Grit by being your own dopamine dealer. This is, Crush It Club 240, 240th episode in a row, daily. Yes, I am proud of that. Anyway, it has not been easy, but that's what makes it meaningful. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.